Today, August 12th, 2017, on a Saturday, there was a tragedy in Charlottesville, Virginia. There was a racist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, Unite the Right rally. And then there was the counter-protesters, the anti-racists and Antifa, probably, I don't know. Racists and the non-racists, white supremacists and the anti-white supremacists, and this was all over a Robert E. Lee statue. So the mayor, a year and a half ago, decided to remove the Robert E. Lee statue. Apparently, the white supremacist neo-Nazis didn't like that, which is ironic, since Robert E. Lee didn't want any monuments or Confederate flags up when he was alive. I have this quote here. It says, "I think it wisest not to keep open the sores of war, but to follow the example of those nations who endeavored to obliterate the marks of civil strife and to commit to oblivion the feelings it engendered." To obliterate the marks of civil strife and to commit to oblivion the feelings it engendered. So his heart wasn't fully into it. It wasn't 100%. How could you concede at the Appomattox, right? If it's a war for a cause you believe in, you're willing to fight and die, then why would you quit? Why would you give up? Perhaps there's a strategic reason, right? He was willing to die, but he didn't want his soldiers to die. So he did it on behalf of his soldiers. But I think because he was the one that signed the papers, because he was the leading general, he was lukewarm about going into the South anyways. Apparently he was with the Northern Army, and Alex Jones knows way too fucking much about the Confederacy. Way too. He says it was a complex issue. It wasn't a complex issue. It was slavery and the culture around slavery, all about slavery. It was, did we want to have a plantation kind of society? Do we want to have a plantation society? The 1% slave aristocrats, you know, with their plantations doing as the fuck as they please? Or a free market capitalist society? And really, for the white man, you would want a free market capitalist society, because how can you compete with free? I mean, even people complain about Mexicans depressing labor. They work for cheap, but who works for free? I mean, there's nothing you could offer that would beat that. I'll work for $1. Well, he's going to work for free. 50 cents. A quarter. 3 pennies. And some pocket lint. And a piece of coal. So, yeah. Robert E. Lee, he says he didn't want to keep open the sores of war, and he wanted to obliterate it. He was tired of it. He's the one that gave up. He quit, and he signed the terms. And when you surrender, and then he started working at an American university. So he's like Bill Ayers on acid, right? Bill Ayers went around blowing up statues and shit, but he didn't go around, you know, he didn't declare war on the United States. He didn't fight an entire war, right, against the U.S. The question of secession, Czechoslovakia was able to separate into 2 republics without a war, so I'm sure separating would be, I don't know, if Hawaii or Alabama, it doesn't matter. If any fucking state wanted to go and the people voted for it, I'd say let them go. I do not feel compelled to force South Carolina. No. We need to organize this. We all need to get together, and we need to force South Carolina back into the Union. I think if South Carolina wanted to secede from the Union, I mean, they probably, I mean, they might be able to get away with it. Federal government, after the Civil War, they got precedent, so the federal government would have the option to force South Carolina back into your family. Don't you want to be a part of your family? Come on, South Carolina. which would be the first state to secede, and 7 of the 10 reasons was slavery or slavery-related reasons. It was all about, the slavery and the culture around it. It was 2 different societies between North and South. One was more industrial, one was more agricultural. So I think it is simple. It's about slavery. It's about fucking slavery. Talk to some of these pro-Confederates. And maybe some of them really are just, Southern heritage fucking... But I've talked to some of them, and it turns out they got black blood, they got brown blood, they have, I don't even know if they have white blood, to be honest with you. So they go around pretending to be something that they're not, and they're hating a group of people that they have very little interaction with. And it's stupid. Judging a person by the color of their skin is dumb. Something Martin Luther King died for, something that was obvious. It's like, duh. Don't judge someone by the color of their skin. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. I never thought about it. Here I've been judging everybody. I would, to smash racism, actually I was wanting to, I don't like black and white. Nobody's literally black or white. So what if we had a spectrum? We had a spectrum, a kaleidoscope of colors. So you had like 10 different colors and then have them like sounding, I don't like making royalty, make them sound presidential. I like democracy. So have the colors, mahogany and turquoise and whatever. Good words, right? Good words for color. Ivory or something. I was looking, and what color are we? I used to think peach, but then someone said pink, and I was like, what? Not pink. You take it back. And I got some reddish to me. You can't tell with this filter, but are we pink? Are we peach? And there's lots of shades. So I think it'd be awesome, actually. I would be proud, whatever, I'm a proud mahoganyist. I'm a proud pinkist. I'm a proud peachist. Peach power. Peach power. That would destroy racism at its root in the mind, right? That's where you're going to have fucking dumb fucks for the rest of your life, but this is kind of crazy. Alex Jones is saying that this is the Civil War. This is the powder keg that the left has been wanting the whole time, and he said he's been predicting it. It was going to happen at the end of the summer. He's been predicting fucking everything. He predicts everything, and then, every once in a while, he is able to, hit the bucket, right? So, Alex Jones, right, he comes out, politicizes the fuck out of this. Everybody's actually politicizing the fuck out. David Duke, he actually says, Donald, what the hell? And Donald actually said some shit. Donald's comments actually goes ahead and doesn't isolate the white supremacists, doesn't mention the white supremacists by name, doesn't mention their fucking hatred and their bullshit and their dumbness. I almost think, look at the White Panthers, okay? There is a left group that recognizes that there is a group called white people, and it's taken me a while to get to this point. But the White Panthers, an anti-racist group, I think I like Antifa. I'm on Team Antifa. I'm in favor of self-defense. So fascism to me is a person that says, do what I tell you, or I'm going to beat the shit out of you. There's going to be violence. No. What'd you say? No, you gotta go. No, go do that. Did you hear what I said? I told you to go do that. And so the person who forces people to obey their commands with violent force. And there's a lot of people in official positions of authority that are like us. I would say teachers have social authority, and then the cops would defend them in the a situation between a student and a teacher. I think the cop would side with the teacher. But the police, right? The police would be fascist. And you want them to be fascist, right? They're the biggest group. You don't want them to be corrupt fascist. But they say, do what I say or else there's going to be violence. And then there's, there's bad, of course, it's power. That's power, right? Forcing somebody to your will by, violence. And, it's abusive parents. Abusive parents are like this. There's a lot of people that's like this. There's a lot of fucking weird psycho people. It's like, hey, you want to have a conversation? Hey, I like you. You want to hang out? Yeah, sure. Now go do this. No, I'm not going to do anything you say unless you convince me. It's. So, yeah, God, Alex Jones is saying this is going to turn into a civil war. It's a civil fucking war. Civil fucking war, that's what he said. So, that's going to be bad for the left. For the gun control left, they have not been storing up their ammunition and their guns. So, here's what Terry McAuliffe and Donald Trump said.
And I have a message to all the white supremacists and the Nazis who came into Charlottesville today. Our message is plain and simple.
Isn't it white supremacist? He said white supremacist, like there's only one. To all the Nazis, and then that one white supremacist, you know who you are.
Go home. You are not wanted in this great commonwealth. Shame on you. You pretend that you're patriots. You want to...
He said, in this great commonwealth, sound a little bit nervous, and this kind of fucking sucks. Because this is the spot that you want government, a little bit nervous about the people, but they're a little bit nervous about the right-wing fucking Nazis, the right-wing fucking neo-Nazis. So, that sucks. They should be afraid of Antifa, or Anonymous, or some peace group, This is, listen to the, okay.
Talk about patriots. Talk about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, who brought our country together. They're patriots.
George Washington and Thomas Jefferson brought the country together. There was a protest that's at some university that Thomas Jefferson, so like, Virginia, right? Virginia, that's where all these presidents, that's where George Washington, Virginia is the first state in the nation. Jamestown's the first colony. So, but Virginia is racist. Virginia has a lot of counties. There's Buchanan County, Grundy, which their mascot at the school, they have a Confederate flag for, they're like, I think it's a Confederate fucking guy, like a Yosemite Sam. And they have it like a Yosemite Sam with a Confederate flag as a cape. I don't think it's that bad, but I know that there was a big Confederate flag debacle debate, and it's still there. So the western part of Virginia, he's close to the government, close to the Burger Kings, and there's civilization in Grundy. So I don't even know what the fuck their problem is, but maybe it's Appalachia, maybe it's just the Kentucky stank. Maybe they got too close to the Kentucky stank. Just playing Kentucky, I love you. I love you. It's probably the West Virginia stank, right? You know what I'm talking about, Kentucky. Sorry, West Virginia. West Virginia actually did right in the Civil War. They seceded away from Virginia and said, no, we're fucking Union. Fuck your slavery, Virginia. And Virginia was part of the South. Virginia seceded, so they were part of the fucking Confederacy. Robert E. Lee actually went with the South because Virginia went with the South. And he's like, fuck, I'm a Virginian, I'm a Virginian first, a Christian second, an American third, right? He's like, Ted, is it Ted? I don't know who the fuck said that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's going to point out violent fucking revolutionaries. He's going to say, you want to know who a patriot is? The patriots are slave owners. George Washington, he owned 300 slaves. He owned like 10 slaves when he was a kid. He was a slave owner his whole life. George Washington, he pulled slaves' teeth out of their mouth and then put it into his own dentures. That's how cold-blooded George Washington was. Also, his sham marriage with that fucking frumpy fucking dude, whatever that, he was an ugly, disgusting woman. It was a business relationship. He was in love with, the other woman, and they had no kids. Was he impotent, or was he having sex with his slaves? Was he raping slaves his entire fucking life? That's why Martha never got pregnant. That's why the United States don't have an heir to the throne. But there is actually, somebody said that they are a descendant of the George Washington. It was well known that this was Washington's kid. It's kind of like a Thomas Jefferson thing, and nobody believed that until DNA evidence smashed everybody's worldview. You know what I'm saying?
You were not. You came here today to hurt people, and you did hurt people.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms.
So that was Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia. Martial law has been declared. They ran over one person. So there's this, I don't know if I got to the actual details. So there was a big rally, racist with the anti-racist. One person got ran over, and it was a car. Okay, I guess I assume you already got to that point. But the video that I seen was the cars just going down looked like a brickway, actually, like a sofa, like a business district. The entire business district was not created for people to drive. It looks like a road. You could drive on it, but it was a walkway. It was made for people to walk. And so they were dispersing the rally. The cops had dispersed the rally. And I got some notes from We Are Change, and I read a New York Times article, and then this is Opus Magnum, and then just generic, you know, Terry McAuliffe, Cason Vids, and Channel 90 Seconds Newscom. And that's the YouTube videos that have the two clips. I got the full Terry McAuliffe and President Donald Jefferson Trump, Jehoshaphat Trump, Hussein, Donald Hussein Trump. And I don't know if I'm going to get to it because I am stretching this out a bit. I had my notes in a little paper and it's over there, so I feel like I won't be able to get the whole thing, but I think I got too much information anyways. So there's 3 people that died. One person's driving the car. It looks like a fucking Charger or a Mustang. It was a nice little vehicle, gray vehicle. So that's weird. I mean, they own the car, and the 32-year-old woman was the one that got killed. They arrested the person that did it, and they were treating it as a criminal homicide. So the police have already captured the perpetrator, and they're, you know, going through the criminal justice system. Hopefully, like Dylan Roof, they're going to get raped while they're, you know, on the inside. And I think, didn't they put him to death? I think they put Dylan, they've condemned him to death. And he fucking deserves to die. This person who did this, what the fuck? What the fuck were you thinking? The video is the cars driving down the alley, and it's just driving into a whole bunch of people. There's people that flipped up. There's people that get stuck under it. There was one fatality. There's like 17 to fucking 30 injuries. And then the car drives into the alley. They're just hitting a bunch of fucking people, and then it just backs up. It just hits in reverse, probably because they're like, oh my god. They probably thought they were just going to, you know, like a video game, just drive through all the fucking people with no problems whatsoever. Unfortunately, people's body, you know, they'll get caught up in your tires, and it'll be bumpy, and you might not be able to drive over a pile of humans. Unfortunately, they couldn't. Not unfortunately, but whatever, they didn't, right? They weren't able to drive through all of them. And maybe they hit something. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what stopped them and stopped the car from reversing. But it goes all the way down the alley, and then it's going back in reverse, and then you see the front end's all smashed up as it just goes back up the hill. You know, there's like a slide hill, so it's going up the hill, out of sight. So it's like, oh my god, you know, I just did some crazy shit. A lot of people are fucking mad at me. They're going to come after me. And then they just backed up. And then the car was tinted windows, I think. I couldn't tell who the person was. I only saw it once. But the car goes in, it hits a bunch of people, and then they're driving back. And then when they go up to the hill, there's a couple people that's running after them. So, you know, yeah, people rightfully want some fucking blood. They want some vengeance. There's a couple bystanders that are like, fuck, fuck, fuck. You know, and people are running, people are scared. They were running towards the car, then they saw it was in reverse, and then it was pandemonium. And that's it. That's pretty much the fucking story. Some asshole in a fucking pretty decent car. So are they rich? Are they privileged? And they just fucked up their life. Or are they suicidal? Why the fuck would this person do this? What would be the, I mean, I know what the motivation is. They're fucking racist, but to actually go to the next level, you're fucking sad, you're depressed. I think to kill somebody is to, expect that you might be shot back at or get the death penalty. So I think a person who's willing to shoot somebody else, especially in cold blood, out in public like that, you know, that's crystal clear right there in public. Nobody could, you can't get, you know, that's, you're not going to get away with that. So I think in order to murder somebody, you have to be somewhat suicidal, right? You have to be somewhat, you don't give a shit about your life. You don't give a shit about what the fuck happens to your life after this thing happens. At least at the time, you don't think that you care. But then you're in the middle of the crowd of fucking people and you see all the angry faces and shit after you murdered, you know, one of the fucking people, and people are all flipped over and they're all fucking mad as fuck. And you're like, oh my god. Maybe I cannot endure all this bullshit. I mean, they might have thought that they were going to be able to go straight through. So Trump, he's going to, calm the nation down. He's going to be like, these white supremacists are bullshit. McAuliffe actually gave the speech that Trump should have. Trump does not calm this shit down. Trump fucking escalates these tensions. He is escalating it. And listen, he doesn't point out white supremacists. And then he also says, everybody, all the bigotry on all the sides. So the anti-white bigotry, I don't think you could say that Antifa is anti-white. I mean, you could. There's some organizations that are anti-white. There's some organizations that are exclusively black, but not anti-white. I think you can you be pro-white, but not hate blacks? I think that's probably, I think I'm slowly getting there. Not proud white. I am mostly European. I do have 11% African blood, so according to the one drop rule, you motherfuckers wouldn't let your daughters marry me. Back in fucking antebellum South, you wouldn't let your daughters marry me. I'm too fucking black. I'm too fucking black for you white supremacist piece of shit's fucking taste. What's your fucking problem? Who gives a shit, huh? It's 2017. I mean, the fact that we're still talking about racism, and this is what Robert E. Lee was talking about. We don't want to relitigate this war. He fucking lost. He was the general that lost. Why would he want to relitigate it and point it out, right? They're going to fucking, come back? No, they're not going to come back. He was done. He was working in America. He pledged allegiance to the flag. He pledged allegiance to the Constitution. And that's another thing. Let me just mention this real fucking quick. The Confederates fought against the United States of America. They fought against the United States of America in defense of slavery. If you're a poor white, which most of the whites would have been, if you're a poor white, you don't own a slave, or maybe you have one fucking slave. The only thing that you get is the privilege, the fucking sense of superiority. Even though there's nothing, if anything, they might actually get the job and get the housing while you just get to say, hey, don't look at me in the eye. I may be poor and dumb and, have nothing to my fucking self, but at least I can make some poor black person make them feel bad about themselves. That's, I don't, whatever. I don't understand racism. I'm very much against racism. I know people, make distinctions in their heads about this group and that group, and I don't know. I like the idea of putting stereotypes, random stereotypes that don't make any sense on different groups. There's an Onion ad about taffy. Black people love taffy. I didn't know. That's not anything. But I just remembered somebody picking up a taffy wrapper and they're like, black people. So, I mean, if white people, they like Twix. Fucking Snickers eater. Oh, okay, there you Snicker eater. You gonna eat your Snickers and with what? Chocolate milk. Well, you like chocolate milk and you like that Snickers? Okay, so Donald Trump, everybody.
This egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
Many
It's been going
sides.
on for a long time in our country.
Many.
Not Donald Trump, not Barack Obama.
Mostly Brock, though.
It's been going on for a long, long time.
That makes me think about a lot of the ethnic strife, different groups, different divisions of lots of different people. I don't know if he's talking specifically about the white supremacists and the anti-racists, because that should have been, 1860s. I don't resonate with no fucking 1860s. I don't even resonate with 1930s, no, the 1860s, even Washington with this powdered wig and shit, it's kind of like, no, he might have been a good battle warrior, whatever, tactician. He was even he wasn't a good military guy, but, he wore a fucking wig, and, stockings, white stockings, and, belled shoes. He's a farmer. What the fuck? How you gonna wear them pretty-ass shoes? I mean, you can't get nothing done wearing them pretty-ass shoes. Washington's gonna need some fucking slaves, right? If he's gonna dress like a goddamn fucking powdered wig wearing aristocrat. Thomas Jefferson had slaves too. So, Terry McAuliffe, there's Kaepernick, there's Gene Cougar, there's Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders. There's a lot of non-violent patriots you could have pointed out. A lot of non-violent. Yourself. There's Steve Noraki. He's the president of Pueblo City Council. So he picked out 2 patriots who are slave-owning violent revolutionaries. So I think that was a bad call by him, but I guess he's a Virginian, so he's got to... And then also, towards the end of his speech, I won't be able to get through all the stuff I want to. Towards the end of his speech, his press conference, he just seemed to, he kind of just rambled on. He just kind of kept on going. He was reasserting, Virginia's good. I love Virginia. The Commonwealth is strong. You've made us stronger. By killing one of us, we're now stronger. Which, why? Because their blood, we're not stronger, we're weaker, but he's saying that our resolve and that our conviction that this shit's not going to fucking stand and that this is going to change some shit. They might, hope it does change shit. The Dylan Roof thing, a lot of Confederate statues and monuments, all that shit needs to be taken down. Confederate, that's fucking bullshit. It's a very powerful, it's an X. It's a fucking X. An X has so many different meanings, right? X marks the spot, X somebody out, right? There's your ex, whatever, husband, ex-wife, X undoes the thing. So, X is the signature for the slaves who had no name. It's a very powerful flag. It's a very powerful symbol. And I wish we could take symbols somehow and give them different meanings. But the fucking Nazis and the Confederates fought against this country. The Confederates were the original fucking terrorists. White supremacists in defense of fucking slavery. Say you're rich 1% benefactors. You know what? For what? 1,000 fucking slave owners? So for 1,000 slave owners, all those poor white men went and died. They were drafted. Maybe that's the reason why they went and fought and died. Because they were drafted. And they united on their fucking racism. So the Confederacy fought against the United States of America. Can states secede? Yeah, I don't give a shit. If you want to fucking get out of this country, get out of this country. I'm not going to force somebody to be a part of a group if they don't want to be a part of the group. But that's history. That's a long time ago. South Carolina, Florida, y'all want to fucking go? Get the fuck out of here then. Get the fuck out of here. You don't want to fucking stay, then get the fuck out. If that's what this is about, then go ahead and secede, Make South Carolina fucking white land. And then maybe Oregon will fucking secede, that'll be black land. And then the rest of the country will be regular fucking people and we'll just accept anybody and everybody as they are. And, fuck the racism, fuck the bigotry. The Confederates are the original. They fought against the United States of America. I forgive Lincoln. Maybe he shouldn't have fought and forced the Union, but he was for the Union. I'm glad America stuck together. I'm glad we're Americans. I'm glad that's who we are abroad. I'm not looked at as a Kentuckian. I'm looked at as an American. So I'm very much an English-speaking white man. Very much my American identity it's important to me, but it's also, it's how people view me. It's what they would put on me. So even if I had a lot of state pride for Kentucky, I'm very disappointed with my home state. It's why I came to Colorado, where freedom is legalized, and that's basically the same state. Pueblo don't have all these symbolisms. Louisville, there's the Watterson Expressway. Watterson was part of the Fort Pillow Massacre, which is where Nathan Bedford Forrest had killed a whole bunch of black people for no fucking apparent reason. There's the Watterson Expressway. So they named an expressway after Henry Watterson, and he participated in this black soldier massacre with the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Tennessee, they founded the KKK. There's KKK places all over the place. What others? The Rotunda. Jefferson Davis is in the Rotunda of the capital of Kentucky. And when Dylan Roof killed those black folks, you had Matt Bevin, you had Mitch McConnell, you had all these people saying, take down the fucking statue, take down the Jefferson Davis statue. They never did. In fact, the Democrats did a commission, and they're like, well, no, it's history. We're going to keep it because of history. And guess what? That was under Brashear. His hometown, Dawson Springs, is where the KKK headquarters is. So, what the fuck? Is that why you want to keep Jefferson Davis? I say take all that shit down and put it in a fucking museum. Sell it all and start a reparations fund. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. People want to say it's about history, it's good because it makes you think about that. Fuck you. Let's remember fucking 76. Let's remember fucking Buchanan. Let's remember Andrew Johnson. Let's remember how Reconstruction failed. So, Trump is going to say some shit next video.